America's 15-point peace plan. These are the conditions that shocked the world. Today, we will explain in detail what the 15 conditions are that America has sent to Iran. First condition, complete destruction of nuclear facilities. Iran will have to completely destroy its three main nuclear facilities, Natanz, Fordo, and Bushehr. Even uranium enrichment on Iranian soil will have to be completely stopped. In return, America is offering a UN-monitored civilian nuclear program, but its fuel facility will be located outside Iran in another country. This condition completely ends Iran's nuclear energy independence. Second condition, end of the missile program. Iran will have to completely shut down its ballistic missile program. Especially the production and development of long-range missiles will be completely banned. Iran's defense minister, Aziz Nasirzadeh, has already clearly said that the missile program is non-negotiable, but America is not ready to accept this. Third condition, withdrawal of support from proxy groups. Iran will have to completely stop giving weapons, money, and training to groups like Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, and Iraqi Shia militias. This condition ends Iran's regional influence, which is the main pillar of its foreign policy. Fourth condition, full openness of the Strait of Hormuz. Iran will have to fully open the Strait of Hormuz to all countries and ensure that there is no disruption of any kind on this important energy route. In return, America is offering partial removal of economic sanctions. Fifth condition, complete rejection of all activities related to nuclear weapons. Iran will have to completely stay away from any activity related to the development, testing, or acquisition of nuclear weapons. This also includes making any future plans for a nuclear weapons program. Sixth condition, full acceptance of international monitoring. Iran will have to accept unconditional monitoring by the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, at all its nuclear and military facilities. This includes allowing inspections at any time without prior notice. Seventh condition, limitation of the drone program. Iran will have to limit its offensive drone program, especially the production and development of long-range Shahed drones. These drones are the main weapon of Iran's asymmetric warfare capability. Eighth condition, control of cyber warfare capability. Iran will have to limit its cyber warfare capabilities to a regional level and avoid international cyber attacks. This includes stopping cyber attacks on American and Western targets. Ninth condition, military withdrawal from Iraq and Syria. Iran will have to immediately withdraw all its military forces and supported militia groups from Iraq and Syria. This condition directly challenges Iran's regional influence. 10th condition, withdrawal of support from the Houthi rebels in Yemen. Iran will have to completely stop all military and financial support being given to the Houthi rebels in Yemen. This is necessary to end the war in Yemen and stop attacks on Saudi Arabia. 11th condition, disarmament of Hezbollah in Lebanon. Iran will have to stop giving weapons to Hezbollah in Lebanon and cooperate in its disarmament. Hezbollah is Iran's strongest proxy group. 12th condition, withdrawal of support from Hamas in Gaza. Iran will have to completely stop all support being given to Hamas in the Gaza Strip, money, weapons, and training. This is a step toward ending the Israel-Palestine conflict. 13th condition, end of regional hostility. Iran will have to end its official policy of hostility toward Israel and America and consider the possibility of diplomatic relations. 14th condition, full cooperation in exchange for economic sanctions. Iran will have to fully cooperate in respecting American and international sanctions, including monitoring money laundering, prevention, and terrorist financing. 15th condition, legal obligation to follow the agreement. Iran will have to sign a legally binding international agreement to follow all these conditions, which will include automatic trigger conditions for military action in case of violation. So, what are these conditions really? These 15 conditions are not a peace plan. They are the conditions of a winner forcing the defeated side into unconditional surrender. America is demanding that Iran surrender its military capability, nuclear independence, regional influence, and economic independence, everything. In return, Iran is being offered only partial relief from economic sanctions and a monitored civilian nuclear program. This is what shocked the entire world. This is not an agreement, it is a final ultimatum. And that is why this news is so important, because the future of war and peace is locked inside it. Now that you know these 15 conditions, let us understand where this plan came from, why it came, and whether it can really bring peace or whether it is the beginning of another war. Pakistan. The mediator behind the scenes, the most mysterious element in this entire situation, was that the talks were not happening directly. According to a New York Times report, America sent this 15-point plan to Iran through Pakistan. This development itself raises many questions. How did Pakistan, a nuclear power and a neighbor of Iran, suddenly become the center of this global crisis? Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif himself publicly said that Islamabad is ready to host meaningful and decisive talks. Trump reshared Sharif's statement on Truth Social, making it clear that America is accepting Pakistan's role. But even more important was the role of Pakistan's Army Chief, Field Marshal Syed Asim Munir, who was actually at the center of this entire diplomatic initiative. The relationship between Munir and Trump is said to be unusually close. In July 2025, Munir had an unprecedented meeting with Trump at the White House, which was rare for any Pakistani army chief. Since then, Munir has been continuously talking to top American officials. He had become the main mediator of this entire process. But a serious question arises here: can Pakistan really be a neutral mediator? Israeli officials have privately expressed concern that Pakistan's role is extremely problematic. Pakistan is a nuclear power that shares a border with Iran and has links with the Islamic Revolutionary Guard. Pakistani public opinion is extremely hostile toward Israel, and Pakistan has deep hostility with India, while Israel is a close ally of India. Considering all these factors, Israel fears that Pakistan could be biased toward Iran and try to soften the American conditions. But for America, Pakistan was a necessary messenger. As Iran's neighbor, Pakistan could directly communicate with it, and as a close ally of America, it could deliver Washington's message to Tehran. It was a channel that both sides could accept, even if its credibility was being questioned. Trump's victory claim: reality or strategy? The most controversial statement in this entire situation came when President Trump announced in the Oval Office, "We have won this war. This war has been won." He also claimed that Iran had given America a very big gift related to the Strait of Hormuz, and that it was worth a very large amount of money. Trump's statement shocked the entire world. On one hand, he was claiming victory in the war, and on the other hand, he was talking about a peace plan. What was this contradictory message? Analysts believe that this statement could be a diplomatic strategy. When a leader wants to show that he is in a strong position during negotiations, he claims victory to increase pressure on the opposing side. Trump may have wanted to send the message that Iran had already been defeated and now had no option except surrender. But Iran completely rejected this claim. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesman Ismail Baghai clearly said that no back-channel talks were happening, only limited indirect contact about reviving negotiations. Iran also accused Trump of trying to calm American markets and delaying attacks that he had already postponed for 5 days to see whether agreement on 15 points was possible. Trump also claimed that the Iranian leadership had completely changed and that a kind of regime change had already happened. This referred to the alleged death of Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei and the emergence of new leadership. But Iran rejected this too, saying the government was stable and the war was still ongoing. Hidden realities. What did not appear in the news? Behind this entire story, there are many realities that are not visible on the surface. The first and most important thing is that there is no clear winner in this war. According to reports, America and Israel may have caused heavy damage to Iran's nuclear facilities and military bases, but Iran's real strength, the asymmetric warfare capability of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, is still intact. Iran's mosaic defense military strategy has made it capable of fighting a flexible and long-term war. Under this strategy, authority is divided into semi-autonomous provincial commands that can continue to function independently even if central control collapses. This means that even if the Iranian leadership is destroyed, the war can continue. The second reality is that Iran's drone and missile capability is still dangerous. Shahed series drones can be assembled in small workshops, stored in civilian areas, and launched with minimal warning. These mobile launch teams are extremely difficult to detect. America and Israel carried out bombing for months, but these teams are still active and capable of causing damage. The third reality is the role of China and Russia. Reports say that even after the 12-day war, Iran's intercontinental ballistic missile program actually accelerated. China, Russia, and North Korea are supplying components and materials. For Beijing, Iran is a strategic asset that keeps American forces distracted from the South China Sea and Taiwan. The fourth shocking reality is that Israel is not happy with this peace plan. Israeli officials reportedly wanted the war to continue. Israel wanted Iran's nuclear capability to be completely destroyed, not just limited. For Israel, the existence of the Iranian regime itself is a threat, even if its military capability is reduced. Global economic stakes, oil, inflation, and the future. The biggest impact of this war and peace plan is on the global economy. Iran is one of the world's largest oil producers. If sanctions are lifted, oil supply could suddenly increase and prices could fall. This would be good news for consumers, but a concern for the American oil industry and other producers like Saudi Arabia. But if the peace plan fails and the war expands, the result will be disastrous. Iran has already warned that it could plant mines in the Gulf and keep the Strait of Hormuz closed for a long time. Oil prices could reach $200 per barrel, which could push the world into recession. That is why the entire world is watching this news so closely. This is not just a regional conflict. It is a question of global economic stability. Conclusion: the impossible search for peace. In the end, this 15-point peace plan is not really a search for peace. It is the beginning of a new power struggle. America wants to force Iran into unconditional surrender, while Iran is trying to protect its identity and regional influence. Both sides know that full-scale war will be disastrous, but both also know that accepting unconditional surrender is politically impossible. 25/3/2026-29. Ashutosh Dubey. Trump's victory claim may be a strategy, but it is not reality. Iran is still dangerous. Its missiles can still be launched and its drone teams are still active, but America is also tired. A long war is not acceptable to the American public, and Trump knows he needs a victory before the 2026 midterm elections. That is why this peace plan may actually be a strategy to buy time for America to complete its military preparation and time for Iran to rebuild its damaged capabilities. Both sides are sitting at the negotiation table, but both also have their fingers on the trigger. For the world, this is a very worrying situation. The global economy is balanced on the edge of this conflict. Will the war end? Will this peace plan succeed? No one has the answer yet. But one thing is clear: this moment is a turning point in history. Whatever comes out of it will decide the shape of the new world order. And the one who loses will not be just a country, but an entire ideology, an entire way of seeing the world, and perhaps the hope of global stability itself.